What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Manga Mentality podcast. I'm your host, King Akh. Here we have our co-host.
Shimon J. You can follow me on Instagram at shimon.j.
And we have our guest host.
Hi, my name is Isis. You can follow me on Instagram at vr.goddess.isis.
Hey, my name is Omilari Mason, and you can follow me at red.the.prospect.
Let's get started.
So, Black Panther, Wakanda forever.
Forever.
We got to get into it. We're going to try to compile it. Because
Okay.
there was so many, story plot twists.
And hold on. Before we get into it. This is the one and only spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Wakanda Forever, you haven't seen Black Panther 2, pause, go get a ticket, go watch it, come back, and then press play.
Yeah.
Unless you're fine with the spoilers, because there's plenty of them. So this is your one warning. Now let's get back to it.
Well, anyways, there was a lot of plot twists.
Indeed.
So what was out of everything that was going on, what was the biggest moment for you?
A twist?
Not just the twist, but what was your biggest takeaway if you compare it to the first one?
We're getting into it pretty early here.
Just gonna dive in.
My takeaway, and this is I'm happy about this because this shows consistency. The villain was right 2 Black Panther movies in a row.
Facts.
The villain was right.
Yeah.
The villain was right the first time. Killmonger was right, and this time Akuku Khan was right again.
Facts.
It's how it is. It boils down to the same plot, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like that for sure. Yeah.
So I think specifically, I know that Killmonger talked about kind of it being bad where he was at and the injustices of where he was at. So, do you see tangents from Killmonger with the specific new villain in the new movie?
Yes. That's it. Really, it's almost not you putting into those words. It's funny because it sounds the same thing.
Definitely.
Because it was. Let me give you a breakdown. The plot of the villain was his tribe was sick from smallpox from conquistadors, and so they drank basically the Mayan version of the heart-shaped herb. They drank that to heal themselves, hoping that it would cure the smallpox. But instead of curing the smallpox, it turned them into mer people, basically. So their skin turned blue and then they go into the water. So it was essentially it's the same thing. So yeah, there's definitely the line. The line is very clear.
Yeah.
You can draw from the 2 of those villains, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I kind of put that together right now. That was a good. I didn't see the side-by-side comparison until just now, but it's definitely kind of fighting for your people and fighting for the wrong that's been done to you and vengeance and trying to basically protect your people too. At the moment we met him, that was mainly his driving force, which was he has to protect his people that were in the underground layer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely see that side by side.
Yes.
So I have a question.
Okay.
How does Wakanda play a part into the conquistadors and their sickness that they brought over to those people? Why is he inserting himself into Wakanda now?
Oh, where's
How
the
does that
connection?
work? Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good question. So, as we know, Black Panther and the vibranium and the comet that came down and then kind of gave them the ability to get the heart-shaped herb, because where the Black Panther comes from is the ingesting of the plant, of the herb. And the herb grows, it only grows in vibranium-rich soil. And when the comet hit the earth and it splintered, the idea is that some of it got into the water and then all just land on land. Parts of it broke off in the atmosphere or whatever, landed in the water and ended up in the Yucatan Peninsula, where it would have then got into the soil underwater, making another herb where that's where they got that from. So it broke off there, got into the land, and then another blue herb was then made there, and then they ingested that herb.
Yeah.
And now that's how they became mer people. And that Namor, he's aware that Wakanda is the home of the most of the vibranium, and that he just had a small part of it. And so he knows that they're the strongest group of people on land, and that he's the strongest group of people underwater. So he's like, okay, let's join forces, because the UN, like the council, they want Wakanda to share the vibranium with the rest of the world. And Wakanda's saying no.
Okay.
We have never, and Angela Bassett says it. She says it in the movie. She says, we have never given away our vibranium, not because of the dangers that we pose to you, but because of the dangers that you pose to us.
Makes sense.
So we never give vibranium to anybody.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that finding out that there's vibranium in that area where the mer people live, like, this is like new information for the movie. Like, we didn't know vibranium was anywhere except for Wakanda.
Definitely.
So now we're being aware that it's here, and it may be in other places. So I think that was like new information for the movie. And so by Wakanda kind of exposing the vibranium, now they're like, and not wanting to share it, that's what caused them to, a scientist was able to make like a tracker device to try to find where in the world that it exists other than them, because they're not willing to share it. So now there's just like this war on where to find vibranium. And so that's now, he's like, I don't want to share with anybody else either. So he wants to make sure that they're also abiding by this. And he wants to kill the scientist that came up with this device.
And to kind of smooth it all over, after Angela Bassett gave that statement, the Queen Samunda, was it?
Yeah.
The name, yeah. So after she gave that statement saying that they're not giving any vibranium to anybody, they had a scientist make a machine that can basically locate and then also tell where vibranium is. And they said he could tell through water, through metal, through air, wherever it might be. If you put it close enough, it'll point you in the direction. And so they have oil rigs, and they deploy the feeder at the bottom, and they just send it off, roaming across the ocean floor, searching for vibranium. And then Namor, him and his people find one, and then they break it, and they bring it back to Wakanda, and they're like, hey, this is what's going on here.
Dang.
I have vibranium, you have vibranium, let's team up. But how he did it was so crazy. So we all know Wakanda's secure, right? Like, no one's getting in, no one even knows where it is. They just know it exists somewhere. And these black people show up in a meeting. No one knows how they got there. No one knows where they're at. This man, Namor, walked up out of the water. The Queen and Shuri are sitting on the beach talking about life, talking about T'Challa, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. They're talking about life. Man walks out the water, smooth as hell. He just arises from the ocean,
Just in front of
and just in front of them.
Yeah.
And then he's like mid speech. He's like, oh, the world is so beautiful. This water is so clean. My mom told me.
And it was really kind of threats
It
and
was.
warnings and friendship. There was a lot going on in that first interaction.
It was definitely very chaotic.
Yeah.
Well, someone was like, oh, my mom told me about a place like this with clean air and water. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Who
And that's why I
are
always
you?
stand villains like that, because it really comes from
It comes from
a
such
genuine
good
place.
It's such a
It
great
comes from
place.
a genuine place. Like, I just want to protect my people at the end of the day.
That's what I'm saying. So why is he a villain? Like, y'all keep calling him a villain. I don't think he a villain.
Here's how we're gonna get to
Yeah.
it, right? Why is he a villain? He sounds like such a great guy. He broke into their home. That was the question.
Yeah.
So the Queen's like, how did you get here, and who are you? They're asking, who are you? He's going to speech.
He's not answering.
He's not answering the question.
Okay, first mistake.
And then
You gotta answer.
there's the first mistake. And then they're like, he knows about vibranium. Like, how you know about vibranium? And then Shuri's like, mother, look, he's covered in it. This man is dripped head to toe in vibranium jewelry.
Yeah.
He's fitted. He came out to the beach fitted.
And his like army is supposed to be extremely massive. Like,
Yes.
they ride on the backs
Of whales.
of killer whales.
Oh, yes.
That's how they arrive to any scene. Like, they're not. Yeah, they not.
They not playing.
Yeah,
Like-
I think they said that, like, the Black Panther, or the people that live in Wakanda, they're supposed to be the strongest people on land, but they're stronger than them, which means that they're the strongest people in the ocean and the land.
Yeah,
Like,
in the world, I guess.
Yeah.
Out of everybody.
no one's seeing their military. No one's seeing their abilities. They can be like stabbed all the way through by like a spear, and they'll be fine. Like
30 seconds later, they're slowly
standing up.
on some anime, on the
That's
anime
not
main
a
character
war.
stuff. They all have plot armor. Every single person has
Yeah.
plot armor.
You don't want to go to war with them.
You don't want to
that's
go to
what
war
I'm-
with
that's
them.
what I'm
And that's his thing. Like he was warning them. It's like y'all don't want this. Y'all don't want this heat. Just don't worry about the vibranium, and yeah,
He said, "Look, I know that you know that I know
that we know.
that you can find this scientist.
Yeah,
So I heavily suggest that you find this scientist and bring them to me,
I understand.
so
where
that
he's coming
I may kill them."
and the scientist was a black girl too.
But
Yeah.
did not change the fact that he was going to kill her.
from. Exactly.
But I thought that was cool. I thought
I
that
mean,
was really
it's cool. It's
yeah.
and also it's cool as well that she actually is like she exists in the comics. It wasn't like a diversity.
Oh, I didn't know
ad.
that.
Like, oh, let's give him a black girl. She
Oh.
actually is in the comics, and she actually is in the comics. She picks up the mantle that Iron Man put down, so she becomes the.
That's what we were saying. Okay, so when I went to the movies, I'm like, the suit that she had on to fight them, I'm like, this looks like Iron Man. So
Yeah,
that makes sense.
She picks up the mantle. So this is a real. This isn't like
Wow.
a give him somebody. This really did happen in the comics. So we can focus on the movie. I just wanted to give y'all.
No, but I think that's interesting.
It is interesting. for
Like
sure.
connecting the comics with the movie, the film. Yeah.
The film. But
So
yeah.
another question. I forgot his name.
Namor.
Yeah, he shows up. Makes all these demands. So I'm guessing that Wakanda is just like, yeah, we're not just gonna hand over the scientists to you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because you're not gonna step up in my house and tell me what to do.
Exactly.
That's basically how
But-
they felt about it.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. So they didn't give over the scientists.
No.
So he's upset about this.
Yeah.
Well, they were friends seemingly a little bit.
Well, here's
The
what,
Princess Zuri and him, they were like, he showed her like their secret
But hold-
underground
but hold
city and
on, 'cause
everything.
That happens after, right? That happens after they get the scientist. So what? To your point, when Namor appears, no one knows who the scientist is. They just know there is a scientist that made the equipment, but no one knows who or where this person is. So they talk to Buddy from the last movie, our favorite colonizer, from the one that they saved with the bracelet ball. They put it in his chest and he woke back up. Him, he's still in the CIA,
Okay.
right? So they
He
asked
was
him.
virtually no help in this film.
No, I mean he pointed him in the right direction.
I guess.
He did, but to his credit, he then explains to them where the scientist is.
Okay.
And that she's a college student, and they find her, and as they're leaving the city with her, they send like a strike force to her garage to kidnap her and kidnap the princess of Wakanda at the same time in one fell swoop. And they're saying, "Why'd you do this?" And they're like, "Oh, the president wants to destabilize Wakanda so that we can get their vibranium because they're not going to give it up. So we might as well just rob them blind.
Right. Makes
and
sense.
See what happens then." So he's like, "No, this is a terrible idea."
Yeah.
But
You're not gonna win.
Yeah, you're not gonna win. While they're debating this, Namor intercepts them. So they're about to leave and go back to Wakanda with the scientist, with the girl, the student. They stop them. First of all, they have grenades that blow up into just water. Just water, mind you. They don't need explosions.
Yeah.
It's a ball of water that when it hits something, it would fill this whole room. Like it wouldn't like flood the room. There would be a solid block of water that would go from the ceiling to the floor. That's how much water they had in like a little ball. And it blew it knocked the car over, knocked the bike over, everything. They walk onto the land, they're like, yeah, you know what? Kill them all. Kill the princess, kill the kill the
What was the
kill those
warrior's
two-
name? What's the warrior lady's name? The bald head.
Never gonna her head the whole movie. It overpulled what her name was.
But she's supposed to be like a really, I was talking about the main one.
Yes.
She's supposed to be like an extremely good fighter. Like she's a leader of the military. They put her on her back. Like,
well, they jumped her.
but
It
still.
wasn't a fair fight.
It wasn't a fair fight.
But even when she killed the other people and she did the one-on-one with the,
Well, because he's the warrior.
Yeah.
His name is Warrior.
they put her on her
They don't
back,
give him a
man.
name.
They did jump her.
They call him Warrior. They don't give him a name.
Yeah.
Okoye.
Okoye. Yeah.
They jumped the mess out of Okoye.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her. They were putting the pause on that woman. It was-
And then she got, yeah. So I guess there's some things we don't have to say. Because there's like really, really big spoilers that we could just go ahead and leave that out. But yeah, the technology in the movie was astounding, really. I think it was we learned a lot more about Zuri's scientific background, and like she's way smarter than she was extremely smart in the first movie, but she's like exponentially more advanced in this one when it comes to technology and like remaking new things that were lost in the first movie. Just gonna say that, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
Oh, I do have one other question. So in the first movie, Killmonger, you know, his main issue is that the rest of the black community in the world is struggling, and you guys are sitting here, you know, living lavish. And then at the end of the movie, we do see that Wakanda is like extending its reach, right? To I think it is America. It is.
Yeah, it's Compton.
Yeah, it's Compton. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Wakanda is extending their reach to Compton. Do they continue that in the second movie? No.
Well, they didn't. That wasn't the focus. They don't even, so we don't know if they did.
They don't even show Compton in the whole movie.
Are you serious?
No one goes to Compton.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
We don't know. They could be, but as far as we know, it's not the focus of the movie.
I'm disappointed to hear that. I'm very disappointed to hear that.
I actually forgot.
You forgot?
That's how much.
I did forget.
That's how much like they didn't even touch. They didn't talk about it. I forgot that happened. So you just said it.
That's so interesting.
They didn't go back.
I feel like they were really going in a great direction with expanding. You know, they're reaching their hand out to Black Americans, and then what? They just forget about it. Like that's crazy.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think you can definitively say that they're not doing that. That just wasn't the focus of the movie. So there was a lot of other things going on in the movie that were literally dire to both America and Wakanda and these sea people.
Not even America, the world.
Oh, the world at large. Like there was a lot of stuff going on. So I can't definitively say, oh, they just stopped caring, but that just wasn't the focus of the movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that Wakanda stopped caring. I feel like Marvel stopped caring. That's what I feel like. At least.
I mean, they did write the movie, so you could say that like they chose to put certain things in the movie,
not to make that the focus.
Not to make the focus.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will say this though, to Shimon's point, it was definitely the world at large. Like most movies say, "Oh, the world's in danger," but it's like Kansas or New York. No, the world was.
And you know what?
Danger.
So I agree that they could have done more with like telling a story about bridging the gap, because that's what they were alluding to in the last one. But I will say it was interesting that they brought in like more historical information about other, you know, non-white groups, like the indigenous people of like
the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah, he knows how to pronounce all the words, but yes, like talking more about their history and their background with their version of colonizers, which were Spaniards from Spain. So they still had the historical factors about how people that were affected and enslaved by these people, by Europeans. So I think they keep that consistent, like all the people that are affected when it comes to conquering people and enslaving people and bringing their diseases. So yeah, I would say that they still hit those points, those historic points.
So let me say this. In terms of how they showcase the people of Haiti, I seen a lot of commentary about how they did a good job choosing to show it in a really positive light, and the beautiful and smart aspects of it, as opposed to focusing on negativity surrounding it, which I think a lot of people appreciated, how they showed the Haitians and that type of exposure.
Yeah, I really liked those scenes when they were in Haiti. They went to go meet, I'm not good with the names. Nakia. And she was working at a school, and they were explaining that like the vegetation that they had there and the plants, that's where they get the food that they feed the kids. So I thought that was interesting. Like it looked really nice.
It looked very nice.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the queen said that she was using techniques that they had for the kids in Wakanda, but they just used what they could find there in Haiti. But they had the same format. And so she's like, you're really blessing these kids with a place to live like this. And so they definitely showed Haiti in a very positive light, which I also enjoyed. I thought it was very nice because it looked so clean and fun. It looked like a nice place to grow up. They had kids playing soccer and teach other languages and stuff. They had kids like guiding people across the school. Yeah. It was definitely very positive. To your point, it was definitely very positive.
That sounds very intentional. I like that.
It was.
Yeah, I actually think it was, because I also seen somebody talk about how the area that they went to was kind of like dirty to some degree. That it wasn't necessarily like the most free of trash type of area, but like they specifically shot scenes that didn't really show that, which I thought was really good.
Well, good
Did
for
they
them.
film, like, where did they film this?
Oh, the Haiti scene specifically?
Yeah. Or like,
I'm not sure. Or if they actually were in Haiti when they were doing it?
yeah, I would like to know.
I'm not sure.
You know, that's actually a good point, because I was thinking about how now that they've written the movie in the way they did, because it's out now, they can't go back and change it. Now we've seen mutants in the Marvel universe. Because if you think about it, the X-Men movies are all Marvel, right? But we never seen the continuity. If you watch the last Doctor Strange movie, they go to another dimension, and in that dimension there's Professor X, but he's not in our dimension, right? Where we're seeing the movies from. So now we have Namor, and Namor is officially the first mutant that we've seen in the main Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so now we know, because Namor is a mutant, right? With the wings on his feet and pointy ears, he's a mutant. So now we have proof that they might bring more of them in. We might see Wolverine next. We don't know who we're going to see next.
Yeah.
But now we have
Well, it's
proof.
about time they build up X-Men.
It's about time. It's about time. For sure. So now we know for a fact mutants are here and they are with us. And I really, pivoting off that, I hope to see something in the new movie relating to the, and this is a major spoiler here. If you made it this far.
It's a bomb.
This is a bomb. This is a nuke. T'Challa and Nakia's son, Prince, or I guess T'Challa Jr., if he eats a herb, he'll be eating a new herb, because Shuri made a herb with the Mayan herb and with the Wakandan herb, and she combined the two. So it's blue like the Mayan herb, but it's like a flower. It's not like the one that T'Challa ate, that Chadwick Boseman ate. It's different. It looks like this. It actually looks like this plant right here, but blue. So if he eats that, he might get a whole new array of powers. Because in the comics, his mother is Storm, who is a mutant. So that might be how they facilitate that and give him some kind of different power set than just a regular Black Panther.
Yeah.
But we'll find that out in the next movie. So we'll know in due time. But
I mean, maybe we've already seen it in the movie with Zuri. Like, we all know she becomes the Black Panther. So she drinks it, and she took the other one. Remember the one that she made was purple. That's what I'm saying. So I think we're already seeing that the powers may be a little different, because she got stabbed directly through her body and she was fine.
She did walk that off.
She walked.
That was surprising.
That was like a shocking scene. Like, everybody in the theater is like,
Yeah.
she's dead. Like, they killed somebody else. Like, how many people they gonna kill? And then she just kind of like breaks the sword and slides off.
Eren Yeager stuff.
Yeah.
Eren Yeager stuff.
And then she does like a backflip in front of the guy. Like, so I think we're already seeing that this one that she artificially crafted by using, the DNA and what she got from the mer people, that there might be different powers than we've seen before with T'Challa. So I think that was interesting.
You know what? Could you just give me something to wrap it up with? So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
For context, the herb that she recreated, she took the remnants from the heart-shaped herb, the original, T'Challa's DNA, and then, like you said, pieces from the Mayan herb, and it looked like the heart-shaped herb. She could do extra stuff, because we know that blow, like when T'Challa was fighting on Warrior Falls, he got stabbed through the gut, right? After he ate the fruit, after he ate the herb, and he like passed out. Like I said, the power of the Black Panthers have been stripped away.
Yeah.
He passed out. He woke up weeks later in a fisherman's hut. It was raps for him.
Yeah.
Shuri ate the front flip right after. So
Yeah.
there's got to be something going on, because now that was like the middle ground, but now the herb is blue. So it's got to be some kind of new.
It's probably something.
Because the mer people were like indestructible. I don't think a single mer person died.
Yeah.
Except for the one that died underground. But
That's crazy.
we'll see next time. But look, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Manga Mentality Podcast. Don't forget to
Like.
Follow.
And share.
out of order, but I'll take it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, family, tell T'Challa, tell the Marvel. We watched the movie. Tell
T'Challa Jr.
Junior. Tell them all. We did it, and I appreciate that.
Want to play varsity?
Ay, run it up by the morning. Only one still on